Hi guys, welcome to Tacked Up, your weekly video game playing, beer drinking podcast. My name's Ben Nova. I'm joined once again by Alex Malpass.
Good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. And again, we are joined by Adil Kurji.
Hello.
You good?
Yeah, good.
Excellent, excellent. This week, it's not a special episode. We're not doing special beers. We're back on our Orange Brew Box.
Yeah, nice. So, new brew box, although we had another Partisan Lemongrass Saison.
We might have snipped one last night.
Since we've already reviewed it, yeah, we drank it last night, and it was lovely beer again.
It was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. I didn't get a chance the first time around, and I gotta say, you guys were bang on.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so what we've got tonight is a FourPure IPA. It's an IPA challenge, essentially, tonight. So we've got a FourPure IPA, a Siren Soundwave IPA, which I've had before, but you guys haven't, which is a great beer. And Weird Beard 5 O'Clock Shadow American IPA. So, all quite similar. I figured just have an IPA challenge.
Yeah,
sounds great.
Awesome.
As they're all IPAs, it doesn't matter which one we start with. They're all going to be pretty intense.
Which one are you the most excited about, so you want the cleanest palate?
Well, I'm most excited about you guys having the Soundwave.
Okay.
Because you've not had it. So, let's hit that first.
Awesome. So this week, as Alex is opening that, we should be discussing... I'll let you make the noise first, shall I?
Oh, yeah.
This week we should be discussing the games we've played this week, as always. But I thought, almost leading on from last week, talking about party games, this week we're going to have a chat about co-op games. Just what we like, what we don't like, what we've played over the years, and sort of which games do it quite well.
So you mean games where you actually play with other people, rather than games where you play around other people?
Exactly.
Very well.
Although something like Rock Band may fall into that category because you're all sort of going towards the same goal, I suppose, trying to complete a song. So.
But Guitar Hero wouldn't.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero has a...
because it has bass mode, right?
it has a co-op.
Oh, it does have a
where
co-op. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Sorry.
it almost turned into Rock Band. You could use the drums and things on that as well. Thank you very much. But Guitar Hero, when it first came out, was always really just single player, really. Or I think one of the games, I can't remember which one, bought in multiplayer. But again, it was against each other rather than co-op.
Right.
So yes.
Okay, cool. So let's have our first beer. So this is a Siren Soundwave IPA. Big nose, big fruity kind of.
It's sort of reminiscent of the Saison last night, a little lemony.
No, it's just a little citrus.
Definitely
Lots of fruit. It's an excellent beer.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's a bit melony, I think.
Yeah, melony
on the aftertaste.
Mm.
Yeah, some like grapefruit
nice.
at the beginning.
That's the citrus. It's grapefruit. I'm surprised at how soft it is on the finish. Like, it doesn't linger that much, considering it's a fairly hoppy IPA. The hops sort of come in, do their business, leave.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they sort of hit you, not quite instantly. You get a little bit of flavour first, then a bit of hops, and then it sort of settles quite nicely.
Yeah, nice dry finish.
Yeah.
It's great. Such a nice beer.
It is. So to start, we started with you, Adil, last week, didn't we? So this week, I'm going to start with Alex. What have you played this week?
So I've played a lot of Hotline Miami still.
Yeah.
I'm on, I don't know, level 8, 9, something like that. Killed the boss that you got stuck on, Adil, didn't you?
Yeah.
The boss.
There's a boss at
Is there
one
a
point,
boss?
yeah.
Well, there's a guy
It's kind of a boss. It's a one guy level.
and you hit him down once and he gets back up.
Oh,
So
the
that's
guy at
it.
the guy at the terminal, at the computer. Yeah. Okay.
With the knife.
Yeah.
Well, then he has a meat cleaver.
Mm.
So that, and you have to get a golf bat or golf.
Yeah, it's a golf club. Yeah.
Ah, yes, the golf bat.
Yeah. So that's still enjoying that. I downloaded on a Steam sale Rome Total War 2 today.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor Edition.
Emperor
Don't
Edition.
forget the extra
yeah,
syllables.
that's true. Partly because I know what I'm getting with a Total War game. Played Total War games for years.
Yeah.
And the trailer on Steam had a sweet kind of Senate deciding what action to take against Hannibal when they don't know where he is. And the last suggestion was, well, maybe he's coming over the Alps. And I'm going, that's ridiculous. I'll never go over the Alps. And of course he is coming over now. So that sounded cool. So I downloaded the game, switched it on, went straight to historical battles, the Hannibal one at Cannae. And I have to purchase it. And so the game was $7.99. Purchasing this battle is $4.99. So it's just like,
Oh, is it DLC?
Yeah.
Oh, that's when we looked for the trailer. I thought...
That sucks.
It does, yeah. So I can play the kind of campaign mode, and there are historical battles in there, but you can't pick your own, like...
And the DLC didn't...
You can't almost pick...
Maybe I didn't see it in the sale. But the in-game purchase wasn't part of it.
You can't pick the advertised mission, almost.
Yeah, that's stupid. But still, you know, I mean, going to get some joy out of it anyway, because it's still a Rome Total War game, so that's quite cool.
Do you know when it came out? It's quite old now, isn't it? Because they've just brought out Attila Total War.
Yeah, that's true. I thought... I was looking at the copyright when it loaded up. It's 2014, but that can't be when the release date for it, surely. I mean... Rome Total War is like 10 years old.
Yeah, something like actually, to be fair, maybe the second one is only maybe not last year. Maybe it is last year. Maybe it didn't come out that long ago.
I mean,
we should probably have looked.
Rome Total War 2 Emperor Edition may have come out last year.
Yeah,
It sounds like a shitload of
Total War. I like how Emperor Edition still doesn't have Hannibal. Yeah.
Well, it is pre-Empire Hannibal, so I suppose it shouldn't really be in the Empire Edition at all.
But then it should have been in Total War 1 or something.
Yeah.
Hey, did you play the first one?
Yeah, many years ago.
Yeah. How does it stand up to that?
Like graphically, it's nicer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a load of features I haven't really begun to engage with yet. It's the same game essentially. It's the same idea, isn't it? It's real-time strategy. Moving troops around on the battlefield. The controls were... I didn't even look at the obvious. I didn't look at the instructions or get any advice or anything first before I just jumped straight into a battle and was like, what am I doing? Clicking, oh yeah, multi-select, that's right, get the slingers involved, charge down there, don't get flanked, okay. Yeah, no, I'm good, and it's fun. But I guess the most enjoyable thing that I've played this week that I haven't played before is what we played last night, which was PT.
Yep.
That was awesome.
It's Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's joint venture at making a teaser for Silent Hills, which may never come out now, considering that Kojima may no longer be at Konami.
Well, no, it's clear that he's not with Konami, and the only thing he said was, "I guarantee you, I will finish Metal Gear Solid."
He seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth for a couple of weeks as well. His Twitter handle has gone almost silent, so it's...
But it is interesting that Silent Hill was not mentioned at all.
Very, very true, very true. But that was a shit scary experience.
Yeah, it was. That was terrifying.
Do you mind just telling us what it's like for those who haven't seen the trailers?
It's a really weird format for a game where it's just the whole level repeats endlessly. Well, not endlessly, but all you're doing is playing over the same very small patch of ground. It's like an L-shaped corridor with 3 doors, I think, maybe 4 doors. So the first time you walk down, I don't know, there's like a radio playing, kind of creepy lights. You look at a couple of things, turn around the corner.
Yeah, and the radio's telling you sort of the story of the game, where it's some man apparently came and shot his wife and killed his baby, and then did something to his 6-year-old daughter.
I think she hid, didn't she? And then so basically you repeat through this corridor, don't you? When you get to the end of the corridor, you start again at the beginning of the corridor.
Yeah, you go out the door at the end, and it just launches you straight back through the door you came through.
Yeah, and sometimes the radio's playing, sometimes it isn't. But you get a bit more exposition through the different sort of on the 3rd or 5th or sort of 8th cycle. It sort of changes very slowly, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then there was a ghostly appearance of some freaky-looking woman that kind of sketched us out a bit. And it was sort of, you could hear her howling. You had a sense that there was something going on in this run through of the corridor, about 5 or 6 in, and we think it was when you stayed still.
Spoiler alert. But it was a complete and total jump scare. It was my second lap through because we were passing the controller around, and sure enough, I turned around and there was just this gnarly apparition of a clearly dead woman yelling at the top of her lungs at us.
I'm not really sure what she did to us, but we hit the floor and that was it. It was just sort of over.
It seemed like we actually died, but I kind of wish we had a recording of us playing that, because all three of us just yelped like school children. It was quite good. And then, of course, after that, every other second we're playing, we're like, when is she going to come back?
Yeah, just tense the whole way through.
Suddenly, jump scares are on the table now? Okay, now I'm going to be worried about more of them.
So it's a really clever combination of like audio, like triggers and things that would build up attention, and also there's no real interaction between you and the scenery. Like there's no like pick up and look at button, or like the scenery doesn't really.
Well, you can zoom in a little.
All you can do is zoom in, So it forces you to stare at things, at the scenery, and look in detail. And whereas safety considerations would indicate that you should just run as fast as you can, but you have to stand and stare at things. So it was like forcing you to do what you don't want to do in a scary situation. I thought it was quite clever.
It's so simple as well, with it just being an L-shaped corridor.
Yeah.
You've got that point where you get to the end of the where the dog leg is, and it's just that moment where you have to turn, and there may or may not be something there, and most of the time there isn't anything there, and it's all exactly the same. Or
sometimes there's a refrigerator dripping blood hanging from the rafters.
Sometimes there's a giant woman staring at you.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. We saw her briefly flash. So we did get foreshadowing that she was going to jump scare us, because she flashed in front of us and then everything went dark and then she disappeared. And then shortly after that is when we got a jump scare. I forgot about that.
Yeah. The bathroom door was ajar and then it pulled shut. Something inside the bathroom pulled shut.
Yeah, you could see someone pulling it shut, like a quick flash of a body.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have. I'd have wanted to play it on my own.
No.
Then having to stay in my house by myself for the night. Yeah. Although we did then have a couple more beers and play a little bit of GTA, which chilled the mood a little bit slightly.
That's true. Yeah. And not only GTA, but GTA with explosive or flaming bullets.
Yeah, nice.
Which, if you've never tried, look up the cheats, because explosive bullets are all kinds of fun.
And a flame round's...
Yeah, I think there's
shooting a flame round at someone who's driving past you in their car and need to burst into flames and crash into a side of the road is genius.
Or trying to pick off the cops in such a way that they light their mates on fire.
Yeah. Or you've tried to run away from them, you're halfway up a mountain and they just crest a ridge and they actually set them on fire just as they come over. Absolute carnage.
Yeah, joy. Alright, so that was my gaming week.
Your week in gaming. Nice. So, Addo, what have you apart from those, what have you played this week?
What have I played this week? I did a bad thing.
Okay.
I started Minecraft.
Oh.
I didn't play a lot of it. Only about probably a week's worth of nights, like 7 to 10 day-night cycles.
Right.
Just to get a feel for the game. I probably spent just as much time looking for a texture pack that wasn't so strenuous to look at.
Right.
I kind of liked it. I ended up not really doing a lot of world exploring, but just decided to continue to improve my house, because as a homeowner, apparently I just wanted to nest in the fake world as well as the real world.
So how does that sort of... I imagine that most of the people listening have probably seen something of Minecraft and know a little bit about it, but you've played StarMade as well.
Yeah.
We're coming back to StarMade, for fuck's sake. Why have I started this? How does it compare to StarMade?
Completely different beasts. StarMade, there is no danger of staying in one place.
Okay.
There's also no game staying in one place. StarMade is, I think, so there's a mode in Minecraft which is called Creative, where you don't have at nighttime in Minecraft, monsters come, and it's like skeletons with bows and arrows, zombies, Zombies are really easy to kill. They take several hits. Skeletons have bone arrows, and they kind of suck because if you haven't hit water in between you, you're basically screwed because they'll knock you back with the arrow faster than you can get to them. And then there's creepers, which are basically look like walking cacti.
Yeah, like green things.
Yeah, they're weird green things. And they, when they get to you, close to you, within maybe 3 blocks vicinity, they start flashing. And if you don't leg it, for about after 3 seconds, they'll explode.
Oh.
There's witches who poison you. And then there's the...
So there's quite a variety of enemies.
Yeah.
Unlike StarMade, I suppose it was just sort of pirates, wasn't it? It was just sort of little ships.
And they tended to be territorial in StarMade, right? Like you go into their territory to pick a fight. So if you just felt like exploring in StarMade, you could just, that's a pirate station. I'll just go away and I'll do the mining thing.
Yeah.
I did see them just randomly go past before and had to kind of get out of their way.
Right, but
very rare.
Overall, yeah, so the... in Minecraft, they basically are hunting you down.
So it's almost like a survival game.
Oh, yeah, it's totally a survival game. Yeah. And then there's hardcore mode, which apparently is once you die, that's over. Again, it's procedural generated. It is the procedural generated voxel game.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. So like I learned how to do things like. At first you could just make a hut literally out of mud just so that you can like peer out and survive the night. But then you can chop down wood, make axes. If you're close to sand, you can make glass. I made a giant bay window and watched the zombies just bumping into it because they're beeline for me, but they couldn't attack me. I have half a second story built. It's pretty cool, yeah. And if I happen to luck out and find lava and iron, so thanks to the internet, I know I could go to the next, like, you can make a portal to go to the Nether, which then you need mats to do, because they, at some point, they added an end of the story, which involves sort of getting to a new type of world and then another type of world after that.
Okay.
But really, I think I'd like to try co-op and just like have a lark and explore a world with a mate. I think that would be really cool. It is really frustrating when you die because it tells you what levels you have, which involves like how many things you've killed. You get experience from like mining coal. Certain things give you experience. When you die, all whatever you're carrying just drops.
Right.
And so if you die in a really shitty place, just like all those things I was carrying, bleh.
Yeah.
Which is why you learn the hard way to make a chest and all these other things, and it's really, I was quite surprised by it.
Yeah, I didn't sort of realise it was that complex and in depth.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I suppose, bringing in elements of, if you're playing with other people on your server, bringing in elements of sort of more classic MMO games. When you die, your loot stays with you, everything stays. You've got to get back to your body to be able to pick everything up.
Oh, and that's the thing; it just drops. If there's someone else there, they can pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll try and poke it a little more just to see. But I was pleasantly surprised. I kind of just did it because of enjoying StarMade and just being like, well, why are all the kids getting into this?
Yeah.
And so creative mode is like an entirely different beast because you apparently you can just rig it so that you don't even have to find mats. There are mods that just give you unlimited mats and just
right.
building
and you can just
crap.
build as much as you like.
Yeah, like I found someone who has started recreating Los Santos.
Quality.
So they've got all of downtown and part of the Park Mountain Rangey bits, modeled in Minecraft. And it's like, wow, that's insane.
Nice.
But yeah, it's sort of things like that are really kind of cool. But, so that was surprising. I'll probably poke at it. I don't think I'll become one of those Minecraft addicts, but definitely when you just, the day-night cycle is 20 minutes.
Yep.
Nighttime is the only time where the bad guys come because they all burn up in the sun. Unless they're in the shade of a tree. I found out the hard way because there was a skeleton under a tree who just started arrowing me. But it's kind of funny because there's suddenly, like, the sun rises and then the zombie that's standing over the hill just lights a fire in this really low-res way. And you can kind of walk up to him and just bonk him and then he'll die because he's half dead from the sun. But yeah, it was neat.
Nice.
Cool. Should we have another beer?
We shall.
So let's have the FourPure IPA. So it's in a can, like most of the ranges these days.
Yep, we had a FourPure pills a few weeks ago.
And
Second week, I
we've had
think.
a pale ale of theirs, have we?
No, I think we just had the pills. I think.
Fair enough. We drank the pale ale just of an evening without.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point. So yeah, in a can for freshness.
Because I know that was the episode that we went on a rant about graphic design of bottles and cans and things.
And we like the FourPure.
Yeah.
design. I think it's good.
I think we thought that they changed the logo, not the logo as such, but there's almost a silhouetted sheaf of wheat on the side. We thought that may have changed, but it is the colour of the can that changes, isn't it, rather than the logo. Back to the graphic design podcast.
So this one is a kind of navy blue, kind of silvery blue.
The can, not the beer.
The can, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, that'd be an
The
odd beer.
bluest IPA you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's actually quite light.
Yeah.
Sort of like honey.
I think both of these have been quite
Ooh.
quite clear as well, haven't they? Neither of these are a bitty sort of beer.
No.
What is that note? Sweetness.
And the aroma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
What is that?
It's really difficult to describe, isn't it?
It reminds me of cotton candy before you get the red or blue
The
coloring
dye
/
thing.
flavoring. That sort of spun sweetness, like it's airy but sweet.
It's almost quite wheaty as well. You get a very grainy flavour from it.
Ooh.
It's totally different from. It's not like citrusy.
No, not at all.
At all.
Hops linger a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, but it's sort of a long, medium finish.
It's a bit heavier than the Siren. A bit heavier than the Soundwave.
It's kind of got like a sort of blackberries thing going on in the end of the taste. I'm getting like a kind of like sharp, sort of fruity.
yeah.
It's not really citrusy, but
Maybe a little tart fruitness.
Yeah, that's right.
Like not citrusy tartness, but like you said, berry tartness.
Yeah, like blackberries or something.
It's nice. It's
yeah,
good.
It's nice. Totally different taste, though.
Yeah,
completely,
completely different.
Other end of the scale.
That's really intriguing.
It is. So, this week I have played several games, all in the last couple of days. I thought, beginning of the week after the last podcast, I'd hardly played anything.
Yeah. Well, how's your thumb?
Oh, thumb's all right. It's getting there. It's getting there.
Gaming thumb.
It's I tried to play Oli Oli 2, which I've wanted to play for ages.
I've heard really good things about it.
Since it came free as a PlayStation Plus game this month, and it sort of as release, it released on the day that it became available as a PlayStation Plus game. And it's a little skateboarding 2D side-scrolling skateboarding game, and you use the left thumbstick to basically do all of the moves. And it's my left thumb that is, I ripped apart. And I got to play a few levels, and I'm pretty shit. I can imagine it's a game that you obviously you will get better at it as you play, but it's one of those games where I wasn't hitting the high score to progress through to the next level, and I thought, do I put this down? My thumb sort of hurts, it aches still a little bit because that is almost the only button, the only motion that I'm using. And it started to ache, and I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to have one more go, I'm going to have one more go, I'm going to have one more go.
We've never heard that story before.
Well, again, exactly the same as the games we were talking about last week. The reset button is triangle, and I was just hitting that continuously, just crash down, don't land, sort of, very well. And so the controls are a little not difficult to get hold of, but it's a slightly different take. When you go to land, to get a better landing, you need to tap X. So it's just the mechanism that they've put in. Whereas I'm not sure whether it was in Skate or Tony Hawk's or something like that, but to land well, I basically just been moving the left analog stick. So I'm trying to pull myself back almost to level my board out.
Yeah,
but that's not how it works. So
yeah, I think Skate was a balance-based landing. Because we played a little bit of Skate 3 a few months ago.
Yeah, but not enough for me to really get my head around the dynamics of it.
Yeah, so I mean it's odd, but it takes a bit of getting into. But once I decided to get the hang of it, it was really nice. Just constantly kept playing that. I've gone back to Drive Club a little bit, which I played quite a bit of. Not when it first released, but a couple of months ago. And that's getting better and better. They've changed the controls on that slightly, so drifting's a little bit easier. That was the one part of the game that I was sort of having trouble with. And now cars drift around corners a lot easier. So,
is that like more arcadey?
No, it's very sim.
Okay.
It's very simulation racer. I play it more as an arcade, bash into people and bounce off of the edges and stuff, which you get penalised for.
Oh right, now I remember.
Yeah. But that just seems to be getting better. They keep releasing new tracks. I've not bought the season pass, but I might do. The only additional expansions that I've got are...
Do you have the Hannibal expansion yet?
No, I don't. But there are some good mountains in it. I'm not sure whether it's the Alps. Maybe it is the Alps. But it just looks fantastic. It's such a nice looking game. But yeah, the expansions I played, they gave for free because they'd had server issues when the game released. Big server issues, and people just couldn't really play it very well. And the whole point of, or one of the main selling points of the game is that it's very social, it's very integrated. You can, try and match your friends' scores, you can try and get down to the minutiae of the actual tracks and try and cut the corners and get that line around the corners better than other people to get more points and things like that. So it's very social. And if you don't have that in the game, it is just another racing game, a nice looking racing game, but it's just another racing game.
They put a lot of effort into that.
And so because they didn't sort of have the servers, anywhere near as good as they wanted, I would imagine, they gave a couple of expansions for free. So I've just sort of played them the last couple of days, and they're quite nice. It's all much for muchness, similar to the other tracks and things, but it's a couple of different locations, a few different cars. I've managed to get up to whatever the top level of car is, supercars, and that is some scary shit. Flying down a straight to then come into a hard corner in the pitch black when it's raining, which looks awesome as well. It's just, heart in your mouth.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's good. What else have I played? Counter-Strike. Not Counter-Strike, what am I talking about?
You're stealing my game.
Counter-Spy.
Counter-Spy, yes.
Counter-Spy.
What's that?
That is it was another free PlayStation Plus game this month. It's another 2D platformer, but you're a spy for an agency, and you're trying to play off two fictional countries against each other, which are very obviously America and Russia. So you have two different themed sets of levels, depending on whether you go and infiltrate a Russian base or an American base. You've basically got to make your way through the level, collecting pieces of intel. You can pick up additional blueprints for extra guns.
It's like a stealth.
So it's you can stealth it. I mean, that's the option. That's the way that I've been playing the levels. But you can. Some of the weapons are just a shotgun, and you can run through the level, blowing people up.
Nice.
Doing things like that. Basically, you've got to get to the end of the level before the DEFCON level raises too much. So if you're spotted and you don't deal with that person quickly enough, they will get on their radio and the DEFCON sort of meter will start to go up. It will then go up to a new DEFCON level and it will keep going. And if it gets to the top DEFCON, if it gets to DEFCON 1, they will press the button and nukes will set off and that will be game over. I mean, it's really nice. It's almost a Venture Brothers. If anyone's seen that, it's that sort of aesthetic. It's very
awesome.
Sort of 60s, 70s, but some of the screens as well, some of the loading screens have got a grainy sort of filter over the top of them, so it looks more in keeping with sort of that period as well.
Very cool.
And the music's very sort of jazzy, which is nice. It's got a really nice feel to it.
Yeah, I actually downloaded it on the Vita yesterday after you told me it was good. I haven't turned it on yet, but hopefully I'll be able to say something next week about it as well.
Nice. I suppose it'd be a different experience as well. Well, maybe not quite different experience, but it'd be nice to see how it plays on a Vita compared to playing it on a 40-inch telly on PS4. So I imagine there'll be some slight differences, but yeah, it'd be cool to chat about that next week and see. And
next week.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'll probably be on a hiatus of a couple of weeks.
You may be.
As I go back to the motherland, that is Canada.
Yeah, you may take a short break,
Yeah.
but we may try and get you in via Skype or something. Try and send
Definitely-
some beers through the internet.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
how's that going to work?
Don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
I definitely am going to bring some Canadian beers back with me.
That would be cool.
Okay, yeah, that'd be really nice, man.
in Calgary that I grew up with, so to speak, along with other ones that I know are good in Canada that I can get. So
After failing to find a Russian River Pliny the Elder to bring back last time, which is difficult in that they only make enough to sell out on the day that it. I mean, it's one of the most famous micros in America, and they queue up around the block on the day that it's brewed to buy it. Well, not on the day that it's brewed, but on the day that they open to sell it.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculously difficult to get. It's kind of legendary IPA, double IPA, in fact.
Nice.
So,
I have a sister in California, which is where the brewery is located as well. And she was coming at Christmas, so I was trying to get her to bring some so that I could bring some, and that just was a failed endeavour in the end.
Yeah, I would have paid probably £10 a bottle easily.
Yeah. That good. Have you had it before?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't buy it in Europe. And there's only like 3 states in America you can buy it in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it just sells out so quickly.
And they're not interested in expanding, so they have, 7.5 bottles. And
Nice. So, have you guys played anything else as I've ranted on about very quickly? About the games I've been playing? I think I've mentioned one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I played another counter game. I installed Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Yeah.
Which I somehow got. I don't even remember because I don't recall buying it. I haven't played a Counter-Strike game in a long, long time. Probably, I'm going to say at least 2010, if not earlier.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike Source, played a little bit with that with some mates. Enjoyed it. Ended up playing more Battlefield Vietnam and Far Cry as our sort of our groups, first-person shooters of choice. But played a little bit of Counter-Strike. And then so I just found out it could run on OS X of all things, and booted it up. And knowing Counter-Strike's community, I chose to play offline with bots first. And it was quite a lot of fun. I definitely did not do well the first time, but quickly got my sea legs back, and now I'm on extreme bot difficulty, and still winning matches. At least the deathmatchy ones where I don't have to rely on anyone else. And they've got the I think they call it the gun game mode, which we actually also all played yesterday on Battlefield something. Call of Duty.
Black Ops. Yes.
Call of Duty Black Ops.
Black Ops.
Yeah.
That beer is going to be called one day.
Right. Don't reveal all your secrets. And that was quite a bit of fun. Because every time you die, you sort of realize that you're helping someone else progress.
Right.
On the Counter-Strike version, you have to kill someone with a golden knife. Meanwhile, you've cycled everyone through the bad accuracy automatic weapons, then pistols, then sniper rifles, then even worse pistols. But if you go fast enough, everyone's got really good weapons for picking you off, and you have this stupid gold knife that you have to stab them with. So that was quite fun. And then that's basically deathmatch, and that I didn't.
So you're playing that against bots?
Right now, yeah, I'm going to probably go online this week. I just want to at least remember how to play.
I can't play first-person shooters against bots. It's just like a completely different game. My whole game is about essentially deception and trickery, and it doesn't work against.
It was more of reminding myself, like figuring out how the game dynamics work. Because when I first started Counter-Strike Source and started going online, it was quite an aggressive competitive community, and you can't learn the game because you just die.
I think it's it's a reason that I've never really got into Counter-Strike. It's got quite a big barrier because it's been out for a while and people are so good at it. I know that I would just go on and be absolutely decimated.
Which is why we only started playing when there was like the threshold of us, like there was 6 or 7 of us, so we just went on our server ourselves, and sometimes we'd leave it open, but usually we would just sort of kill each other and get good because we didn't have to worry about someone just wiping the floor with us.
Yeah. Is CSGO the version that they use for the esports?
I think so, yeah.
Which is CSGO or Counter-Strike the biggest esport there is?
It depends. Are we counting Korea and StarCraft?
I suppose you have to. It is an esport.
Yeah. No. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I guess had a week of doing what people do. Really
games.
popular games.
Yeah.
I mean, gamer people. I don't mean real people.
I thought you meant normal people,
No,
like actual real
but
people.
yeah, it was.
All these fake people hanging around playing all their games.
Yeah, and I think it was playing that killing floor, and then to be like, oh yeah, I remember playing first-person shooters with people around, and that sort of like, oh, I apparently have CS:GO. I should play this, and now of course, as you pointed out, bots are really dumb.
But they just play differently, even when they're too difficult to beat.
Mm-hmm.
They're difficult in a way that's not like
people. Yeah.
So I have the same issues playing sports games online as well.
Yeah.
So sports games online, great, absolutely do that. But against a computer, it's just different. Different. It's wrong. It's an inherently multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. So, but that was my other main game of the week.
Nice. A very popular game.
Yeah.
I think you're saying that it might be the biggest esport. It's definitely one of the biggest watch games on Twitch as well, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. I think a lot of people watch CS:GO. Although maybe we'll talk about it in another episode about people watching people playing games.
Yes.
We'll do a video episode of us watching people play games, so people can watch us watching people play games.
Quite possibly. Maybe we'll put it on Twitch.
Yeah, we can. We'll Twitch cast us watching Let's Play videos.
Yeah, maybe we should just be like a new website, Meta Twitch or something, set up where people do that. It's not a great idea, and we're belabouring it somewhat, but on that bombshell, should we move on to the Weird Beard 5 o'clock show?
Yeah,
Sounds
definitely,
great, yeah.
definitely.
So, don't know that much about Weird Beard, to be fair. I've had a couple of beers of theirs before. Never been amazingly blown away by it, but I like American IPA. Probably my favourite style of beer.
And that's overtly in your face hoppy.
Yeah, but it's more about the. It's not going to be really, really bitter. So an IPA could be up to about 90 IBUs, but an American one will typically be under 60.
Okay.
So it won't be this FourPure one we had. For instance, I had a sort of lingering, I want to say soapy aftertaste that was hanging with me during that discussion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect to have that from here. Didn't get it from the Siren.
No.
So expect big fruity tropical flavours, cascade hops. We're expecting to see that a lot. The sea hops in general.
I think we've had a few American IPAs, haven't we, as well?
Yeah.
Founders, with their death car
true.
on the front of the label.
That's right, yeah.
And the cap of this one, for you graphically inclined, is a skull with hops in the eye sockets, a chain going from the chin to the ear, a mohawk, and then sort of a overgrown on one side Captain Picard.
He's a little Jean-Luc.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to describe that tuft.
A tuft.
There's a tuft on the side of the one of the head that doesn't have the earring chain.
Okay.
So I wonder whether all the Weird Beards beers have skulls as their logos.
I don't know, maybe. Skulls are quite a dominant theme in
Hipster
brewing. in beer brewing. So the Beavertown had a skull, a kind of skeleton.
Did Skeleton Astronaut,
right.
yeah.
There's a Iron Maiden themed beer.
There is. They've got Eddie on it, haven't they?
Kind of horrible beer that you can get in Morrison's for like £1 for a 6.60 bottle. It's just, it tries to say that it's a really adventurously hoppy, and then Jenkins like meh. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not slagging off, but there's a lot of the skull is one of the most widely used insignia on beer brewing stuff,
Okay.
which actually strikes me as kind of an outdated thing. I mean, for instance, if I was marketing a beer, I would be looking more at the simple but direct sort of branding. I wouldn't put too much intricate stuff going on.
Yeah, something more like the Brew by Numbers label, which is very simple.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brew by Numbers, Kernel,
Colonel's the one I was thinking. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
FourPure,
Yeah.
also to some extent Wiper and True.
Mhm.
Like the wall bottles where you can see it immediately, you know what it is.
Yeah.
There's no sort of wasted lines and details that don't really matter.
So Wiper and True has labels. A label that's a little more complicated, but all the beers have sort of the same label except for the text that sort of says this is the name of our beer, etc.
Yeah,
they all sort of have the same.
It's a different
It's a
image,
yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
right.
Yeah.
It's always
Right.
gold embossed something
Yeah.
on there, and often with elephants on. I don't know why. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I think the one we had a moth or something on, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or
Did
the,
it?
the
Okay.
breeze, and
Yeah,
it was a
sure.
moth or a butterfly.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
right.
like that.
And one's a rocket as well. And there's one with a balloon.
Yeah.
There's loads actually, but anyway. So that's what I generally tend to steer away from the skull end of the.
So you
Yeah,
want like
thing.
the Helvetica of labels?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, what's this like?
Sweet,
Sweet. Yeah,
but
that's
a
another
little more
difference
solid
between
sweetness.
them.
Kind of like a brown sugary,
Mhm.
not as wispy as the other one.
It tastes sweet as
Oh,
well.
wow. Yeah, the taste is what is that?
It's almost smoky at one point.
Yeah, smoky, definitely. Straight away, it hits you with a smoky.
Yeah.
Was not
intense.
expecting that.
No, me neither.
Which is
But it's almost barbecue, isn't it? It's almost
hickory-ish.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, don't know if I've ever had a smoky beer like this. This is really intriguing.
And then that gives way to kind of a, not as fruity as I was expecting, but there is a citrusy kind of fade out after that smokiness.
Like a light citrus, like I was gonna say inoffensive, but I use that term too much. Like a really light orange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Not a
right.
strong orangey taste, but just sort of a,
And it's not like got a residual bitterness. It's not particularly dry. There's a
a
sweetness.
little bit of a finish that lingers.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
an
but-
IPA,
yeah,
remember? So
Well,
it's
yeah,
gonna be
but compared to the
the Soundwave.
The FourPure.
yeah, which one was the one with the low finish? Now I forgot. Yeah,
So the FourPure had quite.
Oh, it was the one with no finish, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I think you're talking about the Soundwave.
Oh, Soundwave,
had
right?
no
The Soundwave
finish.
we had first.
The first
Sorry,
one.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Soundwave had almost no finish. This has
Yeah.
a little more. Yeah,
That's true.
but
Yeah.
less than the FourPure.
That's right. The FourPure just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been paying attention, clearly. So when we talk about favourites, make sure you pay attention to mine, because I clearly have been balancing these things very accurately in my head.
So there's a big difference between the smell, the nose of it, and the taste. Like the smell doesn't give anything away about the smokiness that's about to come.
No, it's not at all.
So, you think, okay, this is going to be sweet, fruity, kind of bouquet of tropical fruits or something, and then it's more like kind of Mexican burger style.
Like a smokehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's. I mean, I haven't read the detail of it, but perhaps it's aged in a barrel of some description. It's got smokiness, because it's hard to see how you get that.
Yeah, it's not a standard beer
No, it's
gettable.
That's
Beer
true.
gettable. It's not a standard beer gettable flavor. That's a technical term.
You're not getting it from hops or
No.
or grains. I mean, maybe there's some kind of grain that gives that,
Hmm.
but I mean, there's no like roasted grains in this because it's
It's
just
actually
like
probably
a-
the lightest of the three.
Yeah,
in
that's right.
colour.
Yeah, they've all been very similar colour-wise.
Yeah, I think this is
Sort of
slightly
a
light.
very light amber. I imagine that's just the nature of the IPA, I suppose. But
So does it reveal any details on here? Blah, blah, blah. No,
it is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not
Unique
sure.
and nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure sort of what I think we get this quite a lot, where we sort of expect something slightly different from a beer, and you're just very surprised by what the actual taste is.
It's no Indian Red Ale, though.
Or the flame.
Yeah.
I had another one of their beers in town midweek in between podcasts. It was a It's a brown ale.
It's a Bristol Beer Factory.
Bristol Beer Factory, yeah. 365 it's called.
Okay.
And somehow the bar we were in had it in the fridge, this bottle of brown ale, so when I was served it and poured it out, it was like really cold. So my first initial taste was, there isn't really any taste to this. This is weird because it's one of the most popular beers. It goes quite quickly. People like it. So I was kind of disappointed. However, I've got to say, when it warmed up, I left it about 10 minutes or so, and it became roughly room temperature. Really started to bring out very nice kind of. I'm not like a big brown ale like fan, but it was lovely. It was like really rich, and so
nice.
I like to think I call it as I see it with beers. I'm not going to just have a. Like sometimes I don't like a beer or a brewery or something, but then when I drink a nice one of theirs, it's really good. And I like a lot of their beers. Sometimes they're missing the hit, but this one I thought actually was great. So if you get a 365, don't have it out of the fridge because then it tastes rubbish. Leave it to warm up. Brown ale should be room temperature, and by room temperature I mean room temperature in the UK.
Right, so
18 to 21 degrees.
Yeah, maximum.
15 to 21 degrees. You haven't put your heating on.
That's right. So cool.
Nice. We should drink this whilst we discuss co-op games.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to start with you first, Adam. What's your not favourite co-op game? What's your most memorable co-op experience?
Wait, can we start with the definition of co-op game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like co-op game as opposed to party game, right? So, Bomberman isn't a co-op game.
So, a game that you are playing with somebody else to achieve the same goal.
So right, okay. So Streets of Rage is a co-op game.
Streets of Rage is a co-op game.
Street Fighter is not a co-op
Street Fighter is
game.
not.
Okay, cool.
Street Fighter is a multiplayer beat 'em up,
competitive game.
Whereas Streets of Rage is a cooperative beat 'em up.
Well, no,
it's an option.
Street Fighter is not a beat 'em up; it's a fighter. To be fair.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can't say that Streets of Rage and Street Fighter are the same category.
Do you punch people in the face in both games?
They both have the word street in the title.
That's very true.
That's where I
Street games.
I take it back.
FIFA Street Pro 4.
That is a good idea for a week. We'll do street games. Give them street beer. Record it on the street somewhere.
So would that be... Not that this is my answer, but would like Counter-Strike be where you are working with your friends as the...
I think
it is. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're working as part of a team, it's definitely a cooperative game.
Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna say nostalgia-wise, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist.
On what platform?
On the Sega Genesis.
On the arcade.
Or the X-Men arcade 4-player game, which is called X-Men, featured Wolverine in his classic brown and yellow costume. And Colossus was the best one, because his special move was basically exploding in electricity and shedding his metal skin just to get it back again. It didn't really make sense, but it was an area effect attack. I really liked, growing up, it was side-scrollers, playing with your friends. Streets of Rage also was part of my childhood. But the Ninja Turtles game, I played the shit out of.
Yeah. Good.
So we can circle back to me for sort of, I think, more of what you were thinking of talking about, but I'm going to leave it at that and then move on to you, Alex.
So I really like this game for the Mega Drive, I think it was. And I think... why is that fun?
Just because we're going way back.
That's fine. We start at the beginning.
I'm not entirely sure that this is the name of the game. I can remember it very distinctly, but I'm pretty sure it's called Gunstar Heroes.
Oh my god, that game is amazing.
Yeah, right. Good. I'm glad I remembered that. So that was a kind of sort of scroller, but shoot 'em up kind of style game.
Frenetic shoot 'em up.
Yeah, and it was like Japanese sort of sound effects where when you powered up, you were kind of like "Hocha" and stuff, and you could like double jump and get. I don't know. It was a really playable game. It was. I can't remember it. It was 15 years ago since I played it, but it stuck with me as if that's the type of game we're talking about. You and your bud against
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
kicking ass. That game is the kind of the one I think of straight away when I go there. I mean, I've played Call of Duty with people, and when you do play it with people, it's quite fun, I suppose, that type of thing. But it doesn't define the game.
So I think one of the reasons why I liked Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike as far as first-person shooters, because they were built around the cooperative side. Team
Battlefield as well.
Yeah, but like Call of Duty and Battlefield seemed to, I mean, you had a team, but you didn't work as hard. While like with the things like the bomb and saving the hostages and stuff in Counter-Strike, it just sort of made sense to work together instead of trying to one-man it. While a lot of, well, at least my experience with most of the other first-person shooters that are multiplayer, it's get your score. I want to have the highest score. I don't need to achieve an objective that necessitates me to work with you. So fuck that.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna counter that because
with a strike,
or with a spy, maybe, I don't know. But I think maybe not my favourite, but one of the games that I played a lot of co-op in, it was Call of Duty Black Ops, because it was the first Call of Duty that allowed you to play online split screen. And me and my housemate that is the game that we almost exclusively played, or at least the game that we sort of both played cooperatively. And even though you're on a 6-man team against another 6-man team, the two of us would just go around together and sort of watch each other's backs, be able to point out enemies, go into flanking positions. So even though we were trying to get the highest score, we were still, well, I suppose we were trying to chase the two highest scores.
You guys were being Rainbow too.
Yeah, exactly. We could just try and do it together rather than, as most Call of Duty games are, running off on your own and firing aimlessly into the air, screaming, "Look at me, I'm here." We could actually move around and
it's all about getting on the big, like, fixed guns, like the big miniguns that are static guns, and then the other guy can cover you, because
having a spotter as well, sort of sat above you, being able to call out where people are. And I suppose it's very different to playing. We could have had the same or a similar experience had he have been in another house and we'd have been playing online together, chatting over a headset. But I think because we were in the same room, it was a bit quicker, and because you've then also got that opportunity, which you get with a lot of co-op games, is I can see what he sees, rather than just him telling me what he sees. I can quickly glance down to what he's looking at to know exactly, sort of almost triangulate exactly where an enemy is.
That's true.
So first of all, I commend you on managing to combine last week's theme with this week's theme. That was quite well done. The co-op party game solution.
I mean, the two teams weren't a million miles away to begin with, were they? But it required a definition to pull them apart in the first place. But anyway, sorry, carry
on. Have you heard of Screen Cheat?
Yes.
Do you know the premise of the game?
No.
Okay, it's a first-person shooter indie game where basically you have to cheat and look at the other person's screen to figure out where they are. So you get the split screen even if you're not around. And I haven't thought about this in a while, so I can't actually remember. I think it is they're invisible on your screen, so you have to look at their split screen view to figure out where they are, and then sort of do the math calculation of where they are on the map. I really wanted to play with it with someone because it seems like too much fun. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's no way of doing this except to cheat, and that's the point. Because of course, I don't know if you remember. I mean, as we discussed yesterday, I've never been good with first-person shooters with analog sticks, but I did play GoldenEye a couple of times with friends, and there used to be the one guy who was very good at it because he would just use all the information available, and then people were like, "You're just looking at my screen."
Yeah, I that might have been me when I was
Which
younger,
I don't think
because I owned the N64 and people came to my house to play it.
So we're now talking about anti-co-op games.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, but Screen Cheat just came to mind when you're talking about how exploiting the other screen. But so, I hate to say this, but my most memorable, fun co-op experience is also a first-person one. But it's I said Persian.
You've had 3 days.
The first Persian.
yeah, Prince of Persian. No, it's Portal 2 with a friend.
Yeah, Portal 2 is a great example.
Portal 2 solo I wasn't that impressed, but they clearly put a lot of effort into figuring out puzzles where you needed both of you to work together, and that was way more fun. And the communication, especially if you weren't in the same room,
Yeah,
and
did
trying
you
to
play this online?
yeah, it was proper tough in
Yeah.
the co-op typing / maybe we ended up just actually one of us downloading TeamSpeak and hosting it because it was just easier. But I think that was probably my favorite proper co-op experience where it's not that you can work together, but you have to work together in that sense of co-op. Like the goals are work together to get this done versus like we were talking about first-person shooters, you could technically do it by yourselves and probably win, but working together is a nice thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any non-Mega Drive co-op?
I'm not sure. That was all I had thought about previously. I mean, I probably, but not off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're not much of a co-op guy.
I don't know.
See, I think I sort of almost wanted to talk about this because I almost search for it. So I used to play World of Warcraft a shit ton, and I played a lot of other sort of online MMOs, and even
versus not online
versus
MMOs,
offline MMOs,
MMs.
So, all right, MMORPGs, Memorabs.
Memorps is
But that is, it's exactly what you're talking about. You get together, you're being coordinated, especially when you're doing sort of end game raids. Someone is. It got to a point where you almost had to learn your role, but you were trying to achieve something. You were trying to take down a boss, which it took 20 or 40 men to take down.
or women.
Characters to take down, and you had to.
I'm too much of a Leroy Jenkins to deal with that type of coordination.
That is true. I don't know why I didn't think of MMOs. I had my MMO addictions. In fact, I was in Final Fantasy XI in a static group in undergrad, where people across North America. I think there was one person who often went to Europe, but other than that, it was. But still, like 4 time zones, and we had to coordinate. And I remember friends being like, "Really, you're going to stop hanging out because you have to go play your game with your online friends?" But we made it really far, and we did some things in unique ways. But that's the reason why I try MMOs, is to replicate that experience. Ultimately, it fell apart, as these things do. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, I think that's some of my favorite moments in gaming.
Yeah, definitely.
On like World of Warcraft, early World of Warcraft, like a month after release, a party and just doing a world PvP raid, like not. This is before Battlegrounds came out, so you just kind of like, I feel like killing people. I'll just go and attack the crossroads because my friends wanted to play Alliance. I know. And that was super fun, and like trying to coordinate, and like playing with each other, using guild chat to coordinate, being like, okay, they've got a wave of like high levels coming, we need to fucking hide. And also ways of like figuring out how to draw the guards out, so that we could then take out the noobs.
Go in and run into Orgrimmar and take it out. Yeah. I also played Alliance, so you're in good company.
I was a gnome rogue called No More.
Very surprising that name wasn't taken. If you got it on launch, I suppose it's that. Yeah.
And I purely picked gnome because I could be a rogue, and they were small. So even if you saw me, like even if you heard that meow, that guy, and I can now see it. But the amount of times I hid in a bush. such that they'd hear the noise because they detected me, but they literally couldn't see me, and then I'd jump out and stab them in the face, or probably the back should have been. But anyway, so yeah, you're right. I don't know how I totally missed that. That's clearly co-op.
I suppose it is co-op, but you're getting almost a different experience with playing people online, not being in the same vicinity as them, and having to use things like TeamSpeak. I remember when we were sort of raiding, you'd only have maybe 2 people that would chat as such, that would give directions, because they were the coordinators and they were telling everybody sort of what phase it was. No, of course you can't. It would become massively difficult. But when I really got into raiding, it was when I was living with a friend and we were both playing. We were both part of the same guild. We were both on the same raids, and the laptop I had ran WoW. So I just used to. He was sat in his room on his PC, and I could sit on his bed and just play on my laptop, and that was good because you still had interaction between the two of you. You were still both doing the same goal, and I suppose it's a lot of games now. You don't get a lot of, apart from MMOs, you don't get a massive amount of sort of co-op in, really.
It made me think now that. So at my parents' house for a while, for some reason, my mum for work had a separate work internet connection set up. So there were 2 internet connections in my house. This is like 10 years ago. And me and my friend figured out that we could then play poker on 2 IPs and sit in the same on the same table, the same 5-player table, and we'd both be able to see each other's hand. So in a sense, online poker can be played in a co-op mode. But it's actually quite difficult to triangulate what the best strategy is, because you'd be like, right, I've got 2 7s, and the other guy would be like, I've got a jack and a 10. You'd be like, okay, should I bet then? I don't know. What? He's betting loads, I'm going to fold.
We're going to cheat. I don't know how to cheat.
That's right. Well, we spent ages like setting up. Yes, definitely, it's not going to. They can't trace it. It's fine. IPs. Yeah. So anyway, shall we pick a beer? Everyone pick a beer.
I think so. Yeah.
So we've had Siren Soundwave, the FourPure, it's just called IPA, and Weirdbeard 5 O'Clock Shadow, American IPA. So, Ben, what was your highlight?
I think it was the first. I think it was the Siren Soundwave. It was just really... It was nice and light, but it was hoppy as well. Yeah. So you still get that IPA flavour and full bodiness of it, but it was just in a when I say full-bodied, it was the taste was there, but it was just nice and light. It's sort of something that you could very easily drink, not realise you're absolutely fuck-oed.
Yeah. What percentage is it anyway? 5.6. It's not stupid.
That's not bad. I didn't notice that the 5 o'clock, the Weirdbeard 5 o'clock Shadow is 7.
7 is it?
Yeah,
so it's pushing the boundary between an IPA and a double IPA.
Yeah, and the FourPure is 6.5.
But you come to think of it now, you say that, I've got that alcohol-y kind of, like, you can tell when there's a high alcohol content.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the 5 o'clock Shadow was the strongest of the 3.
So there's a ratio that you use in brewing, but that's the ratio between the bitterness and the alcohol content. So you can sort of keep them in step with each other, and it's supposed to kind of mask the residual kind of
strain
vodka-y sort of alcohol taste that you get if you don't really balance anything else in the beer with it. So if you can taste the alcohol, in a sense, that means the ratio's tilted somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want it to be. I don't know. Anyway.
I suppose it depends what flavour you're going for, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So the mix that you want to get. But I mean, the Soundwave was so just nice and light that it's definitely my favourite this week.
Okay, Adel.
I'm going to have to go with the 5 o'clock Shadow.
Really?
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. One, I love the taste of smoke. My favourite scotches are from Islay. I really enjoy Russian campfire teas like Lapsang Souchong. And this beer would be like... this beer reminded me of Thomas Was Alone.
Okay.
In that I wasn't expecting much, It turned out to be really enjoyable, and I want to continue pursuing it for hours on it.
Nice.
It's really good. I really quite like it. I don't think the smokiness lingers long enough for me to think, ooh, a smoky beer, this is weird. I think it's a perfect balance of this thing I've never tasted in beer.
Yeah.
I always thought, smoky palate and beer palate, never the twain shall meet, and it turns
So
out
you've
they
never
do.
had whiskey barrel aged beer before?
Right. I mean, not in this. I have, but I don't think it's had this type of smoky character.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to also hit the Soundwave. I mean, it already was, before we started this evening, one of my favourite beers. So, these two haven't budged it off the top spot for me, unfortunately, which means that it wins this week, technically speaking.
So almost the deck was stacked before we began.
Well,
Alex, cards, cheating.
so on that bombshell.
Nice.
So I know you didn't get a chance, I don't think, to play our free game of the week.
I did.
Alex, you didn't, right?
I downloaded it and didn't play it.
That's right. It's Super Crate Box. You can get it at supercratebox.com. It is really simple, but somehow difficult. It's harder than you think it should be.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
It's basically, for those of you who are aged like ourselves, have you ever played Mario Brothers? Not Super Mario Brothers, but the original, where Mario and Luigi had to kill monsters who were coming from the ceiling, and then ran down through a few platforms.
Isn't that not Mario? Isn't that Donkey Kong? Is that the first Donkey Kong game where you've got to run up to get to Donkey Kong because he's stolen the princess?
No, so that's
barrels down.
Yeah.
True.
This one's it's smaller. There's a top platform that goes about the middle 2/3, and then the second level is a third on the left and a third on the right, and then a gap, and then the bottom part.
Yeah.
So it's exactly like the second level, the levels of Super Crate Box.
Yeah.
And you could play it against each other, where you could jump on each other's heads and steal the coins that you got and use the power box. In fact, it was a secret minigame in Super Mario 3, where if you went back a level, the level you just passed, with the one that had the little M or L coin on it, you could enter that, and you could steal each other's power-ups from your little flip menu.
All right.
Yeah, Mario Brothers. Who knew? Anyway, so it's that type of game where it's 2D, very small level, no wraparound, and basically enemies fall from the top and slowly go through the three levels of platforms. And if they get to the middle of the bottom, it's a fire, and it makes them angry, and then they come down faster and red. Yeah. No matter how many enemies you kill in Super Crate Box, your score doesn't go up. The point is that there are crates that spawn at random parts of the level, and those crates contain weapons, and you're just trying to get as many crates as possible. You start with the pistol.
Yep.
Which
isn't very good.
Yeah, it's quite rubbish. Even the small enemies take 3 or 4 hits.
Yeah.
The giant enemy that comes down takes too many for you to easily kill him with the pistol. Every 10? No, what is it? I can't remember. There's a certain number of crates you have to get to unlock a new weapon.
I think it scales up, so I think with the first level you unlocked the shotgun after collecting 5 crates. You then unlocked akimbo or dual pistols after then 15 crates, and then at 30 crates, and at 60 crates. So it progressively makes you play the game longer to be able to unlock the next weapon.
What's really interesting about it is it does the weapon crate count separate from how well you're doing.
Yeah.
So if it's 60 crates to unlock blah, it's 60 crates you've opened no matter how many times you've
it's
recycled through.
overall playthroughs, yeah.
And so there's things like the shotgun, which basically annihilates anything in a short range. There's mines, which don't think are that great.
Yeah. It's a fun little game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would play it too much.
But it's I think what caught me and why I wanted to see your opinions was that it's tough. Like I die on the tutorial level, and all you have to do is avoid enemies, grab a crate, small level, shoot them if you can, grab next crate, and somehow you just die so easily. And it was in the spirit of our discussion of Hotline Miami and Super Hexagon that I was like, oh, this seems like a reasonable game to bring up. So I encourage all you to try it out, including you, Alex. I think it's definitely worth the $0
Definitely,
cost.
I mean, especially even if you only play for 15 minutes, it's still a good 15 minutes. It's still a good little game just to pass sort of a half an hour, 15 minute spell.
And tweet us at tankedup_cast.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he said that with such confidence and then narrated himself on a podcast. Tweet us at tankedup_cast and let us know what you think of Super Crate Box, which again is at supercratebox.com. Throw the www if you feel like up front.
Or you can tweet yourself at
the Omniarch. That's TheOmniarch. Or Ben.
I am at Nova_47, NOVA_47. And Alex is the postal address. Alex.
Yeah, Alex at Bristol.
Yeah.
And by at Bristol, just put it on Alex, stamp the crap out of it, say Bristol, UK, and cross your fingers.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Possibly hire a plane with a message and fly it over Bristol.
Yeah,
See
skyride.
what
The
happens.
message, yeah.
That's quite
If
good.
I happen to be looking
Skywriting in a...
Might look out the window, might not see it.
It probably will be cloudy.
Yeah.
Skywriting won't be readable.
Anyway, right, that's it for this week. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.